In 1947, when India and Pakistan were divided, the partition of geographical boundaries was agreed upon. One thing that was left untouched back then was water resources. 13 years later, that is in 1960, a treaty was agreed upon by both nations to apportion water of the Indus River, the tributaries of which flows through both nations. And now, this 1960 treaty is back in limelight. Just few days back, New Delhi issued official notice to Islamabad seeking modifications in this treaty. In this video, we decode what is this Indus Water Treaty and what are the differences between India and Pakistan with regard to this. But before that, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Oneindia. During independence, the boundary line between the two nations was drawn right across the Indus basin. That meant Pakistan was the lower riparian state and India was the upper riparian. Back then, two important irrigation works were going on. One was at Madhopur on the Ravi river and the other was at Firozpur on the Satluj river, on which the irrigation supplies in Punjab province of Pakistan was completely dependent. This fell in the Indian territory. As a result, a dispute arose regarding the utilization of irrigation water from existing facilities. So, negotiations started with the World Bank as an intermediary, and after 9 years of painstaking negotiations, the Indus Water Treaty came into being in 1960. It was signed by India's first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru and then Pakistan's President Ayub Khan. The treaty bestowed upon India an absolute control of all waters of eastern rivers of the Indus, that is Ravi, Satluj and Beas. Pakistan received unrestricted use of waters of the western rivers, that is the Indus, Jhelum and Chenab, which India was under obligation to let flow beyond the permitted uses. However, India was permitted to use the waters of the western rivers for domestic use, non-consumptive use, agricultural and for generation of hydroelectric power. The right to generate hydroelectricity from the western rivers is unrestricted, subject to the conditions for design and operation of the treaty. Now, since 2015, Pakistan has repeatedly raised objections to India's 330 megawatts Kishan Ganga and 850 megawatts Ratle hydroelectric projects located in Jammu and Kashmir. The Kishan Ganga hydroelectric project aims to utilize water of the Kishan Ganga river, which is a tributary of the Jhelum and is known as Neelam river in Pakistan. According to the treaty, India may also use the waters of the western rivers in non-consumptive ways. India interprets this as a permission to build run-of-the-river hydel projects that do not change the course of the river and do not deplete the water level downstream. But Pakistan argues that the Kishan Ganga project violates both conditions by changing the course of the river and by depleting the water level. Then the conflict is about the Ratle hydroelectric project on Chenab river. For this too, Islamabad's objections are same, and it says that it blocks water that flows into Pakistan. In 2015, Pakistan approached the World Bank and sought the appointment of a neutral expert to address its objections to the Kishan Ganga and Ratle hydroelectric projects. The very next year, Islamabad retracted the request and sought a court of arbitration to adjudicate its objections, and this is the current bone of contention. By first asking for a neutral expert and then seeking permanent court of arbitration, Pakistan is in contravention of the graded mechanism of dispute settlement envisaged by Article 9 of the treaty. The meetings held between 2017 to 2022 on this remained inconclusive. At Pakistan's continuing insistence, the World Bank had initiated actions on both the neutral expert and court of arbitration processes. But in 2016, it paused the initiation of two parallel processes and requested India and Pakistan to seek an amicable way out. The recent letter from India to Pakistan says that the move to initiate two simultaneous processes on the same questions have the potential of bringing contradictory outcomes, and that can create a legally untenable situation and could risk endangering the 1960 treaty itself. Under these circumstances, India has issued a notice of modification of the treaty to Pakistan. This was all about the Indus Water Treaty and the recent controversy that has broken out with regard to it. We hope you would like this new video. Thank you for watching.
Subscribe to Oneindia channel and never miss an update.